doing? I'm Jose Saldana. Welcome back to my daily devotion. Today, Psalm 116, verses 1 and 2. He writes, I love the Lord because he hath heard my voice and my supplications, because he hath inclined his ear unto me. Therefore will I call upon him as long as I live. As long as I live. I love the Lord. It's hard to love someone you have no connection to. There has to be some kind of connection. There has to be some semblance of a relationship. How can you love someone that you don't know, that you're not familiar with? As John taught, it's not really possible to love someone you aren't altogether familiar with and connected to. John isn't even talking to people outside the knowledge of God. He's speaking to people who know God's name and have been filled with the Spirit or claim to know and walk with God. In 1 John chapter 4, verses 19 and 20, he says, we love because he first loved us. If anyone says, I love God, and hates or works against his brother, he is a liar. For the one who does not love his brother, whom he has seen, cannot love God, whom he has not seen. So how can you love a God that you don't see? Know that he's a God that you can hear and a God by whom you can be heard. Our psalmist declares, he heard my voice and my supplications. He can't hear you if you don't call. It's that simple. He can't hear your voice if you don't ever lift it. He won't hear your prayer if you don't ever make a prayer. I love the Lord because we have conversations that allow us to build a relationship. He takes the time to listen to me. He takes the time not only to hear me, but to respond. People that leave the Lord out of their lives will never know the joy and the peace that a relationship with him offers. If we ever lose the conversation, we soon lose the love. If we ever stop praying, then our God becomes out of sight, out of mind. Still, there is always the opportunity to rekindle the relationship and move back to that place where you really have a love for God. I believe that relationships don't ever end. They just change. And so you can change from whatever your status of relationship is, and you can rebuild it back with God to be something better than it ever was before. Even if you don't have a relationship with God, you can change that. And it all starts with just opening the conversation, lifting up your voice, letting them hear your voice. What's on your mind? What are your thoughts? What are your concerns? And doesn't matter what language you speak, doesn't matter if you're able to speak or not. You can pray in sign language if you want to. But as long as you lift your voice, whatever that may be, to let him know what's on your mind and begin that conversation, you can start and change that relationship. Even if you've never had a conversation with him before, don't be afraid to ease on into it. I love the Lord because he heard my voice. It all starts with me opening my mouth and raising my voice.